Maybe I'll just mention real quick while we're waiting. We're so excited about this program, and there's just so many different ways that different people are running with it right now. So I wanted to mention that we're actually working on a best practices guide. So as you guys gain experience working with it, definitely shoot those ideas to us of what works, what doesn't work, because we want to make it a living document and continue to add to it. Again, I mean, just people are running with it in many, many different ways. I think today, Crystal's going to really focus and hone in on the certification piece of it. Last time we talked a lot about kind of how to leverage it for social media and the cool videos and all that good stuff. But we're going to make this an ongoing series too, so that every few months we can get together and again, share those best practices, but we're also going to capture them in a guide that we'll make available on the website and get distributed to everybody. So we're excited about keeping the drumbeat going.
All right, thanks, Julie. I am going to go ahead and get started. I want to welcome everybody to the Skate4Concrete website webinar. And make sure everybody can see the presentation on the screen.
Yes.
All right, thanks. Thanks for being here. And we're going to go over what Skate4Concrete is. This is the outline of this presentation. We'll kind of go over what Skate4Concrete is. If you didn't join us in the first webinar, we'll kind of review that, just kind of give a review of what it is for everybody, even if you did attend before. We'll review the resources that are available for you to use as tools within your own state or community. And then we're going to talk about examples of implementation, how you can implement it. This webinar is going to be a little bit more on the way of how to get started. It's going to be very application based. I've invited a few of the educators that I work with so that they can give their perspective on and their experience for how to get it started in their school, how it benefits their school. So if there's any question about how to get started within your local school districts, we have educators today attending that you can ask questions. And then we're also going to go over industry experience. We have several people that have started to implement it within their state, and we have a specific example from Tennessee that we'll hear from, and then there's examples within Kansas and Washington as well we'll kind of touch on. And then we'll discuss next steps kind of along the lines of what Julie was mentioning with the best practices guide. Okay. All right, so what is Skate4Concrete? This is a program powered by Project Cornerstone. Project Cornerstone is the nonprofit that I run. Skate4Concrete is the new program that is a very targeted recruitment strategy. So in this day and age with social media and a lot of media coming at us in the next generation, I believe that it's important to have a targeted message. And so because skaters skate on concrete and they love concrete as much as we do, I've felt that it was a great connection to start targeting our message about the great career opportunities within our industry to the skate community. This doesn't mean that they have to be skaters to enjoy the program or want to resonate with the program. I also found as I tied the concrete education that I was doing in the schools, when I tied it to skateboarding, it resonated with the next generation. They could see how they could get a career. They were excited to learn about concrete, and it was just a really good connection. And this program was developed and sponsored by a grant through the Concrete Advancement Foundation, formerly the Ready Mix Concrete Foundation. The goal of this is really to give back to our communities and find the future workers to welcome into our concrete industry. So the resources with Skate4Concrete, we can start with the website and what is on the homepage. This website is really a resource for you to use within your communities as you bring on schools to implement the Skate4Concrete certification. that you can point them back to the website. This hosts the 3 videos that we created. Basically, if you haven't watched the videos, they're amazing. Please go to skate4concrete.com and watch the videos. And these basically talk about the careers in the concrete industry that went into building a concrete skate park. And they're really well done. They're produced by 900 Films, which is Tony Hawk's film production company. So they definitely know how to speak to the skate community. And so they did an amazing job. Within the website, there's also a way we targeted 5, when we put the program together, we targeted 5 positions that are basically entry level within our industry. And this is really designed to get people into the industry. So we're starting with entry level positions. We talked about mechanic, QA, QC, dispatch, concrete batchman, and a ready mix truck driver. And this website goes into a description of each of those positions, talks about wages within each different state. So it gives a lot of information beyond the videos on helping people understand what these jobs are and what someone would do in those positions. And then there's a careers page where you can navigate by state. You can click on the state, and then it gives the resource that you can see on the right-hand side about what companies are in that state. It gives a direct link to job openings if that company has a careers page on their website, or it goes directly to how to contact that company about questioning about jobs or that type of thing. And then we have the concrete certification. And this is where I really wanted to kind of focus my attention today, is the concrete certification handbook. And we do have another resource that we talked about in the first one, the media kit. And that we can still provide that to you. It gives everybody the ability to download the videos so that you can edit them. They're fully editable. It gives you suggestions for social media posts. It really kind of goes over this website as well. So that's available for everybody to use if you want that, we can get that to you. The concrete certification is a certification for high school students. And you can see here that it has different modules. When I put this together, I surveyed teachers if they wanted to offer a certification for their students, how long should this take? So that's a common question I get. Basically, a certification shouldn't take more than 20 hours. This one probably takes a lot, or within line with that. We could ask Todd as we get closer to when he's going to present. He's the teacher that is one of my star beta testers, and he can talk about how long it takes his students to go through it. The final project is making a mini concrete skate park. So that might take a little bit longer, but going through the different modules 1 through 4 definitely doesn't take more than 20 hours. So it's very accessible to the teachers. Basically, what happens, you register on our website by clicking on the concrete certification. The teacher registers. The program emails the teacher a link to send to their students, and then their students sign up. The teacher has access to the answers to the questions, and then the students don't, obviously. And then the students can go through the certification at their own level or their own speed. Probably the best way to do it, if you were to suggest it, is to have the teacher guide the students through it. Upon completion of the certification, the program will make a custom concrete certificate. So it will put that person's name. You could see an example of the certificate down there on the right-hand side. So why certification? So as I've been working with schools, it is very important for students. They love it. And then it's very useful tool for the educators to have a certification to offer students. So it's been a really valuable tool to use to have the opportunity. You can see that the module starts with an introduction to concrete, goes into, what is concrete, and there's a quiz there, there's activities. Module 2 goes into mixed designs and the importance of the mixed design of concrete. Module 3 goes into the testing. So they do a sieve analysis, do compressive strength and slump. All of this is designed to not need the resources to do a sieve analysis. It doesn't take a sieve, it doesn't take a compressive strength machine, it doesn't take the ability to do slumps, because I wanted it to be fully implementable without having equipment other than the rock, sand, and cement to make the mini concrete skate park. However, you'll find that this is a great way to tie into field trips to industry, to where they learn about the certification, or they learn about a slump test in the certification, and then maybe they see it during a field trip. So it's a great way to kind of solidify their understanding of our industry by tying into local producers and offering field trips to the two schools. So implementation examples, I did want to say that, kind of back up, so that this is a picture of the different implementations. The bottom center is kind of an example of Todd's class and how they produced, or they created, their own concrete skate park, and we had a contest amongst the students. But I want to say, like, the concrete certification was definitely, as I said, created for a purpose. Educators really want the certification for students, and certifications are coveted by the students. They love it. I definitely am. This program is definitely targeted, just as it's targeted for tying concrete to skating. It also targets career technical education, or CTE. Oftentimes you'll find it as career and college and career readiness within your districts. Some may have different names. Within career technical education, there are different pathways. Construction, engineering, and manufacturing really tie into concrete certification. So this would be a great way to use within your community. I particularly choose the construction CTE pathway. Not all high schools will have it. So it kind of narrows it down for what high schools for you to really reach out to. And the construction pathway does have the requirement or suggestion to teach about concrete. So it does have it's in line. I am also targeting this class because if students are already enrolled in construction within their high school, that means they're interested in working in the construction industry. So it's a good tie-in to find that pipeline of worker if they don't want to get a 4-year degree. If they do want to get a 4-year degree, we can point them to the CIM program or other ways to learn more about concrete. Their certification is a great way to get started. And then you tie in field trips and do a mini concrete skate park contest. This makes it very interactive and fantastic for students. And there are conferences within each state where there is career technical education conferences. I particularly like it. This is a relationship building opportunity for companies and associations within your state to reach out to schools. But sometimes that could be a little bit intimidating, or you don't know how to get started. And so I've asked a few educators to join us so we could ask them some questions, and then they could give us some advice on how to get started in your area. And I want to start with Eileen Bagrizzo. Thank you for joining us. Eileen is the Director of College and Career Readiness at the Grossmont Union High School District here in San Diego County. I've been working with her for a while now, and she is graciously allowing me to implement the concrete certification. So I wanted to ask, start off with Eileen. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, from an administrator's point of view, and getting into the CTE program, if anybody here on this call wants to get involved or connected to their local high school, whether it's an association or company, what is the best way you feel is to do that with, how do they get started? Where do they go?
Typically, starting with the district office is a good way, because there's usually a person like me in every district office that runs these programs, and that person will be able to give you information about which high schools have like construction pathways or manufacturing or the engineering. So that's a good way to get started. And one of the things that Crystal did when she started working with us, she got very involved in our advisories. We are required to have a couple of advisory meetings every year. And in these advisory meetings, we have business people come in and meet with our teachers to make sure that our teachers are staying industry current. And Crystal started attending these meetings, and that's a really good way to get to know the teachers and what's going on in the programs. And they will express the needs they have, and you can tell them the needs that you have. And that's kind of where we started working on this whole credentialing thing. And career technical education, we're very heavily grant funded, and we have a lot of metrics that we are measured, our programs are measured. And one of those is making sure that we offer industry recognized certifications for students. So when they leave high school, that they are more employable and have a better idea of what is entailed in each industry. So that's why when we were working with Crystal, we were like, we really need to get some certifications. And construction industry is very difficult for us because it's a hazardous working condition, and usually we can't get students into these environments because they are not 18 yet. And so this is a good way to bring this information to the students in the classroom in a safe environment. And so it's been a great situation for all of us.
Thank you. So let's talk about CTE conferences, or if they don't contact the high school district directly, talk to me about, or share with us about career technical education conferences that are usually hosted in every state. Is that in every state, or like how?
Yeah, we have the Association of Career Technical Education. It's called ACTE. It's the acronym for it. And they have a national conference every year. And this year it's going to be in Phoenix. And ACTE also has a state organization. So we have CACTE for California. And so they also have conferences. And you can also contact your county boards of education, because they have a lot of this information as well. So you can find out about that. We have local conferences here in San Diego. We have a statewide one every year in February up in Sacramento called Educating for Careers. That's one of our biggest ones in the state. And we also have a fall conference in Palm Springs in November. And that is getting bigger and bigger every year too.
And is that a great way to meet teachers, I guess, across the state at one of those conferences?
Yeah, the businesses can come in and have tables at these conferences. There's always a vendor area, and teachers love to go in there and meet with people and find out what's industry current. And that's a really good way to start putting connections and getting people involved in advisories and that kind of stuff.
Okay. And let's like, in what way has you've touched on it a little bit, kind of about the importance of certifications, but is there one thing that you would say, like, this concrete certification has really helped the school district?
It's really helped our students see the connection of what we're trying to teach them in the classroom with what's happening in the working world. Students don't know what they don't know. And so this has been a great way to show how they can apply what they're learning in the class to something exciting, and realize that they can find a career that they're really passionate about. And that connection to the skateboarding has been really helpful. We're very excited about that. Crystal has helped with us a few years ago. We did a spring academy during spring break and exposed students to the industry. And so from that model, we have transferred into doing some in the summer now. We want to expand that some more. So the more exposure students have, they go in with preconceived ideas about what it means to work in construction. And then I think, until they get out there and see it, they don't really have an accurate picture of what's going on. So it's really helpful to get them involved in industry.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Eileen? I think that was very, very helpful. Next, I'm going to have Todd Myers. I see you. He's
Good morning.
Hi, Todd. So tell us who you are. You're in a CTE construction pathway teacher, and you've actually implemented the concrete certification a couple times.
Yes, so I've been a CTE construction business, or building and construction trades teacher for 22 years. I'm currently at Idea Center High School. I've been there for 7 years. Before that, I was at Chaparral for 2 years. And so now, the last 4 years, 3 years, I've implemented the Skate4Concrete program, and it's been awesome. A great program so far.
And tell us, like, even if your kids, even if students that you have aren't skaters, how have they liked it, I guess you could say.
So even the students that don't like to skate, they're still into the design process. They're still into the hands-on building of the park. And so they really get involved and they really enjoy it, even if they're not skaters. They all like to design and build stuff in my class. That's for sure.
Okay. And building the mini concrete skate park. I know I don't give a whole lot of parameters as part of this, but is that a problem or an advantage?
It's an advantage. It's a lot of fun. You've got to do a little bit of research first on your own to figure out how to get the concrete to work. What we found out is we really have to so I try and use a little bit of scale drawings and scale modeling for this. But if you scale it down, then if you scale down the concrete, then you'd have to sift it into fine powder. So we found that using the finest powders has helped a little bit in making them smooth. That was the hardest part in the beginning, was figuring out how to make the concrete part smooth, and also how to make the features. So trying to figure out how to make different features, half pipes, quarter pipes, different stuff like that. So what I found is in the beginning of the Skate4Concrete module, you get into the concrete mix, and so you're going through the concrete mix with the students, and that's the teachable moment when you can teach the whole class. So this is how we thin it out, or this is how we mix for the mini skate parks. And that's really, there's a lot of teachable moments in the Skate4Concrete curriculum, and that's what I really enjoy.
And how big are your classes when you're doing this? Tell us about the method that you use. You break them up to in groups and stuff like that. How many total students are in the regular year?
So my classes are a little bit smaller than most. With the academy and my class, what I usually do is I do it in groups of 2. And then that way there's a little bit less material used. So I do groups of 2 unless the students want to do that by themselves. And then what I do, I have an advanced class that I have them actually cut the bases for them. So I make the base of their skate park 2 foot by 2 foot. And then from there, they can start the design process and figuring out what features would fit on their skate park.
Thank you. So yeah, there was a question about how many students are in a class, and it is depending on the class, but it is 15 to 35 in San Diego, and that's pretty typical. It's because you break up into groups and the students design the mini skate park together. It becomes really great for a teaching implementation, because the teachers and educators want the students to be creative, do problem solving, and learn to work as a team. So this is a great avenue for that, if you will. Any questions for Todd? Okay, I'm going to jump back to the presentation.
One of the things really quick,
Okay.
if you're an educator and you are running this program, I suggest you work through it with your students and don't do the self-pace. Because I find that if I let my students self-pace, I have like 2 or 3 students that just get through it. In a couple of days, they go home and do it for homework. And then I have other students that take, 2 weeks to get through it. So what I found that works best for me as an educator is to work through it with them as a whole class. Do the mixed design with them, do all the little slump tests and everything with them. And then that way you can see that everyone's doing it and that they're understanding what they're doing too. Again,
And-
just like this is just suggestion.
And then Todd, I want to, you take your students through the certification and then we do field trips. So how does that help them to do the certification first? And then when we go to field trips to a ready mix plant or a quarry, like how is the reaction from your students?
So they definitely, they feel a lot more prepared. It was really nice seeing them this year on the field trips compared to the years in the past, because in the past I've done it after the field trips or we were working on it during the field trips. But when you do it after you go through the program, then the students have questions and they understand what they're looking at, and they take in what is going on the field trip. So they understand the process of having to break the rock up into smaller rocks, break it up into sand, break it. So they understand the process that's happening. When I take them without them going through the process first, then they really don't understand what's going on. They just see rock being broken up and they don't know why or what the purpose is. But if they already have the certificate, what I noticed this year, especially like with my class, the students knew what was going on and they had questions already in their head, and they were prepared a little bit more for the field trip itself and what to look for and what to actually figure out on the field trip. So it's definitely, I would suggest going through the program first and then going on the field trips, just because then the students understand the process a lot better.
Awesome, thanks.
Yes.
All right.
And
So,
again, I'm sorry about my video. For some reason, my camera's not working today. I can't get it to hook up. So I'm sorry about the no video.
it's fine. All right, so I want to move on to some industry perspective and industry experience. And since we have the educators here in case there's questions, but we had Alan from the Tennessee Concrete Association recently attend a career technical education conference and met a bunch of teachers there. And he has some experience to share from that and what he's going to do moving forward. So Alan, go ahead and share your experience.
Sure. Hello, everybody. So like probably many of you, we're learning more about, I had to figure out what CTE meant, what it stood for. So now I know, so at least I've learned that much. And we did just recently, about 2 weeks ago, attend an exhibit at the Tennessee calls theirs the Institute for Career and Technical Educators. And I think they do it every year in the summer. So that was a great experience. We got to talk to a lot of teachers. The picture you see on the screen, that's my newest staff member, Joseph McDaniel, who's a recent MTSU CIM graduate. We're very pleased to have him on board. So one of his first projects was to make some of a couple of mini skate parks along with our summer intern, also from CIM. So we learned a lot about the process. And as we did that, it let us put together a kit. So our thought was that we wanted to tell the teachers what they needed to build the skate parks. And we tried to assemble the kits with things that would be easily found. And we put together a couple versions of the kit, but depending on whether or not it's a deluxe kit, it'll cost $100 to maybe $150 if you put some of the tools in there. And just from a practical standpoint, we're using expanded polystyrene as both our base and then to cut out all the different skate park shapes. that seems to work really well and gives them great flexibility in terms of the shapes they can cut. And then we're just coating that with a trowel grade material that you can buy at Lowe's or Home Depot or your local hardware store, which also seem to be a lot easier than trying to come up with mixes. If you get anything past the sand size, it won't work very well for the skate parks. So for the first go round, our goal was to get teachers to sign up to offer the curriculum. So we exhibited at the show. We bought the mailing list, which gave us a little over 700 names of people that attended the show. And then we sent out an email to all those folks. Just went out on Thursday, and by Friday morning, I had 5 teachers who'd signed up to offer the curriculum. So I thought that was a pretty good response. We're going to continue to communicate, and our goal is to get at least 30 schools to offer it this fall. So happy to address any questions.
And then you also have a connection to the Skate4Concrete website on your website as well, correct?
That's correct. So we're doing similar thing with, if a student is interested, and like on the Skate4Concrete website, you can go to look at the different types of positions. We're doing that here in Tennessee, and obviously trying to link back to our members so that a student in, Knox County could look at ready-mix producers and contractors, testing labs that are hiring in their local community. We're trying to make that connection as local as possible.
Now in module 5, another aspect of module 5 of the concrete certification does encourage students to go back and look at careers or search for careers in the concrete industry through going through our website. I am going to add to the certification to make like a homework assignment for them to actually apply so that they go through that process. So that's an upcoming change to the certification that I'm going to be doing. But it is supposed to be like a circular thing where it's very sustainable. You start with the certification and you're talking to high school students as they're making career and college choices, whether they go to CIM program or going directly into the industry. And the beautiful thing is that there's new kids coming into high school every year. So there's always a reason for you to continue to work with the local schools, and just really developing that relationship with the school district is important. I think just like anything in business, creating those relationships and developing those relationships really help. So this is from Tony from Surf Skate Science. It's a after-school program in Florida, who I work with, and Alan, she's asking that you made a kit. Can you give a list of the stuff that you put in the kit?
Sure, I'll be happy to share that. I'll send that. I'll just send it to you, Crystal, and you're welcome to share it with whoever else. One of the things we did to incentivize teachers to sign up is we offered to give them a free kit to the first 30 that signed up. And the kit has enough material to do, we figure, 2 skate parks, similar to what Joseph is holding in the picture. So I think that's the other part of the backside of that plan is for each school that signs up, I'm going to reach out to my local members close to that school and hopefully get them to sponsor that kit, the cost of the kit. And then also they would be available as a resource for that class to maybe do a plant tour or whatever other support the class might need.
That's great. All right, any questions for Alan while we're here? Oh, Bruce, your hand, you're raising your hand.
I am. Hi there, Alan. Good. I don't know how you do this all of a sudden. You just make magic happen everywhere you go. Quick question. the teachers technical education conference that you went to, is that a national organization? Are they regional? Are they by state? I looked up our Science Teachers Association and I found out that their annual conference is going to be in October in a town where I think they're going to be building a skateboard park. How do we plug into the career tech educational folks?
That might be a question better for Eileen.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Yes, the Association for Career Technical Education is the whole National Career Technical Education Association. And they have a website, and you should be able to look up your state on their website to find out the affiliate for each state. And that would be a really good place to start about the conferences that they have. ACTE has a national one. Last year it was in Las Vegas and it was in December. And this year it's going to be in Phoenix, and they have some other opportunities that you can meet. But every state has a career technical organization. A lot of our funding comes from Perkins federal funding, and Perkins has some resources also for industry partners that are interested in getting involved.
Eileen, do you know can you share the website that we should go to?
For ACTE?
For the career technical group that you were just talking about.
Sure. I will look at it right now.
Thank you.
So I think ACTE is the Association of Career Technical Education, so it's ACTE.
We'll get
Yeah.
a good contact number for you for my folks. We're gonna be making it $10,000 a year.
Okay, someone needs to mute, but it's okay. Was that the only question you had, Bruce?
No, that's good. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay.
I just wanted to try to plug in and then figure out how Alan does all this stuff so fast.
Yeah. Everybody has their path. So there's another question. So Todd Myers, the teacher that shared his experience, he shared his email in case you want to reach out to him after. It's in the chat. And then Eileen shared with the Association of Career Technical Education and the website, so you can find where a conference is in your region.
Thank you, Eileen.
And then Eileen shared her email if you want to reach out to her separately from here. All right, so we have other examples going on as well. Bruce, you're shy. You already have been implementing it in your area. You took there's a local skate park being built in your region. And I think one thing, maybe some people got confused or concerned that there had to be a skate park being built in your community in order for you to implement the Skate4Concrete program. And I will say, that is not the case, and it probably adds a level of complexity that makes it a little bit difficult because, as we all know, construction schedules vary and are all over the place sometimes. And so it doesn't require that a skate park is being built in your area in order for you to implement this program. However, it creates another level of fun for students. And Bruce, share your experience. You did take some students to a local skate park that was being built, and you shared a little bit of the certification, hoping that we can implement it fully within the school once the school year starts again. I don't know if you have anything that you wanted to share from that experience.
Yeah, we got wind of we have a skateboard park being built in the town where we live, and as luck would have it, the owner of the company, Grindline Skateboard Parks, lives in the same town. So we had this little perfect gathering of all the right people here. And then in our town, this was a community fundraiser project for the kids to rebuild an aging wood skateboard park. And so the kids were very excited about it. We went to the high schools, and they were all excited about it, about being able to connect the kids to the high schools, to the park. The challenge that we had, it was so late in the school year when they started construction. And we did try to connect it directly to the park because that was what everybody was excited about. We frankly just sort of ran out of time to be able to do as much as we could. We introduced the curriculum, we introduced the concept, rave reviews from everybody. But the challenge was putting everything together in a very short time period. But we do have phase 2 of the same skateboard park coming up. And so we're prepping to be able to be part of that because there's more concrete and more skateboard park features to be able to do. And we'll have more time once the kids come back to school to implement a more organized program. They do have a construction program. And we were trying to get, we could get an hour in front of the construction program, but the contractor wasn't able to kind of meet the same schedule as the kids. So good faith effort. We've created awareness. We just didn't have enough time. And what my takeaway was, at least for us anyway, is the amount preparation time to be able to do this and to be able to walk into a community with or without a skateboard park and say, we want to introduce Skate4Concrete to you and to your school, et cetera. And then, like Alan says, try to get our local folks to be able to do the same. But we were met with great enthusiasm. They loved the idea. And so we're hoping to connect it with phase 2 of this particular one and onward to 2 other skateboard parks that are yet to come.
All right, thank you, Bruce. Any questions for Bruce? The other opportunity that we have, I really truly believe that this is a great way to promote the concrete industry management program through Nick at CIM Chico and Christy. We've identified a student within the CIM program who is a skater. He was selected to be our first intern. So I wanted this to be an annual thing. He is, we partner with New Line Skate Parks. They're building a skate park in Lenexa, Kansas. And Christy has been the boots on the ground to really take this intern, give him, not only is he working with New Line and building the skate park in Lenexa, once a week he goes and learns more about the industry, taking tours of cement plants, concrete plants, and ready mix facilities, and you name it. Like the city, learning about permitting, and Christy's done an amazing job, and I appreciate all your help with that and giving him that experience. But he's a fantastic kid. He's impresses everybody that he meets. So I don't know if you want to share anything about that experience, Christy.
No, we have this fantastic young man who's in CIM at Chico State, and we all need a young man named PJ like this because he's just so freaking energetic and positive. But rather than take Skate4Concrete, we kind of came into it late, kind of like what Bruce is talking about. So we, instead of getting the high schoolers involved like we could have, now we know in the future, with Crystal's help, we could do that post the skate park being built. But we did take the opportunity to take a wonderful CIM student and continue his hunger and thirst for concrete and rock and everything concrete and construction related. He's had a great relationship with this New Line skate park contractor from California. It's been actually wonderful to work with. But what was really kind of fun is we were actually to bring in the whole construction piece. He did do all the site visits at a concrete plant, the cement plant, like she mentioned. But he spent one morning with the supervisory inspectors working for the city and do like a ride along and go help learn inspection that way. And then last Friday, he was with the Parks and Rec director and learn about how did the skate park come to be, how did it get budgeted, and how did it get to where he's actually working in a job site today. So we've taken the opportunity. We didn't really get to attract new students, but we've got to take care of a fantastic young man. So I look forward to looking for the high school part and really drawing students in. So we're really looking forward to doing this next step. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think because it kind of started in the summer and school year was ending, we're going to try and capitalize on the grand opening ceremonies of the skate park and really kind of meet or create more awareness within the community and use that as an opportunity to share more about the concrete certification and that type of thing. I think what's that?
I said thank you.
Yeah, and I think Nick's on the call from CIM Chico. At least I saw him jump on. I'm not sure if he's still here.
Yeah, I'm here.
I don't know if you've even talked to PJ.
You know what, I haven't had a chance to connect with him over the phone, but we've texted back and forth. He's having a great time out there. And I think that he's an example of, you know, a student that joined the program not knowing much about the industry. I tell, you've heard this story, Crystal. I saw him in the rec one day, and you know, after talking to you, and I said, hey, PJ, I think I've got an opportunity for you. How would you like to spend the summer building skate parks? And, you know, he just dropped to the floor and he's like, well, we can do that. And I was like, yeah, man. And so it's really cool that it's worked out. I think it's a good template for opportunities for students going forward. So I'm really stoked to hear about his experience. You know, somebody told me today school starts in 4 weeks, so I'll get a chance to connect with him then.
Awesome. And I will say, from my standpoint, the Skate4Concrete, I've really tried to grow the social media following and focus on skaters following Skate4Concrete on social media, Instagram specifically. That seems to be where the younger generation hangs out. And I will say, not only have you see a picture of Christian, he was a skater, saw some of our posts about job openings, applied, and he's just really excelled at his position at Superior Ready Mix. And I get DMs on a weekly basis on how do I get started. You know, I have it's very common that I have a class B or a class A, and I want to drive a ready mix truck. Where do I go? And so I look based on where they live, I point them in the right direction and point them to, I find job openings that they could apply for, and point them to our website as well for them to peruse on their own. But it is becoming definitely that Skate4Concrete is where we want to connect the skate community with the concrete industry and to search for career opportunities. So I think that's a positive step, because that's really what this is all about. All right. I think, Julie, you mentioned this in the beginning, but maybe not everybody was here, but just a wrap up from what plans the Concrete Advancement Foundation has about Skate4Concrete.
Great, thank you. I mean, hopefully you guys are as enthusiastic as I am after hearing all these examples. And I think you can see there's so many ways to be creative with this program. And it's really just capturing the imagination of everybody, both on the industry side and skaters that we've interacted with in a really unique way. So I think there's just a lot of excitement around it. We're already seeing job connections and documenting success stories. So as you have experience with it, I mean, we're going to capture everything that was talked about today and some of the other examples that we've already encountered. You know, this program's only 4 months in, and we're already having a lot of success. So we're going to capture all those things and create a best practices guide that'll be a living document. And as we get more experience, we'll keep that thing moving so that you can share your ideas and experiences, good and bad. And, you know, we hope to continue to do these types of webinars, you know, at least on a quarterly basis. So again, you all can share with each other about your experiences, but we are going to document this as well. So hopefully you're as excited as I am, and we'll look forward to keeping this moving forward.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Is there any questions? Thoughts? And again, if you want access to the media kit, you can email me. Did everybody get the resources from Eileen about connecting to the career technical education conferences in your area? So that was, if you're not on chat, you can find it at www.acteonline.org. And that you can connect to their national conference or a conference in your state. And I want to thank Eileen and Todd for being here and sharing their experience from the educator's point of view. And if you ever have any questions or want some advice about how to get started, hopefully this was pretty very specific in how to at least get started in connecting to your local schools. And the resources that Skate4Concrete provides you to be able to offer to teachers is very valuable. So you're welcome to email me. My contact information, well, I guess my email is there three times. So you won't forget. So you're welcome to contact me anytime. We can make available the concrete certification in a PDF format so you can look through it yourself. You're also welcome to register for it yourself so you can take it online. It is free for right now as we continue to take feedback and make this better and make it better for the educators as well. And then if you want the media kit, we can get that to you as well. And that gives you, again, the ability to download all of the videos that are on the home page of the Skate4Concrete. And they are fully editable. I edit them all the time, taking snippets out of them to create more and different social media. Please follow Skate4Concrete on either Facebook or Instagram. If you're not on Instagram, then I suggest that your company be on Instagram. That seems to be where the younger generation lives that I've seen, other than TikTok. But I don't do TikTok, but that's just my suggestion if you want to find the younger generation. And this is really designed on connecting those entry-level positions to the next generation and really focusing on the younger generation to get started. And that kind of helps you, again, to be a little bit more targeted.
Can I make a quick comment?
Yes, please.
Well, first of all, Crystal, and those of you who helped put this together, thank you very much. It's very informative and helpful. And thank you as well to those of you who shared out your experiences with this. I just want to throw out a quick thing. Some of my students last year, in addition to making the skate park, they also made their own little tech decks. They made their own clamps, first out of wood, and then they 3D printed them, and just out of thin veneers, they laser engraved theirs, and then did a nice clear coat and put a grip tape on that and made their own tech decks as well. Parts are pretty cheap on Amazon online.
Well, that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
And did you try to do a mini concrete skate park contest?
We didn't do a contest. We had I don't want to get into the weeds of it, but I had to put a whole construction class together from scratch, kind of last minute. So we didn't really have time to get in depth with it. So I had one group make a pretty good size. It was like a 2 foot by 3 foot
Cool.
skate park, and they used other interesting mediums as well, like the some handles for cabinet handles that they could make little grind rails and stuff like that too. Cool. So they just made one big one, and that's actually still at the class. They just kind of donated it to use as an example for next year to do it right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Send me a picture.
Yeah, we'll do.
All right. So we have about 5 more minutes. If anybody has any thoughts or questions. I will say that this tying concrete to skating really, and Todd, maybe you can confirm, like it just the kids' eyes just totally light up, and it's amazing to see. So this program really does make a difference in the kids and how they learn and the excitement of their learning. So I encourage you all to consider implementing it in your local school area. And it does create another avenue for us to talk about the concrete industry management program as well.
Crystal, can I add one more thing?
Sure.
In our area, there's been a lot of emphasis in California of getting middle schools involved in career technical education. So they are coming on board. And there's even one of our local middle schools that has a class that is all about skateboarding and physics. And so it's kind of anytime you can make it hands-on for students, it makes it really sink into them and get them excited. And like Crystal said, and tying it into the skateboards and the hands-on, you would be amazed at the level of engagement our students have. So thank you for supporting this and being one of our partners, and we appreciate it very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Eileen. Yeah, middle school certification is in the works. Yeah.
Hey, Crystal, this is Tony from Skate Science. I'm
8:20.
sorry, my was not on, but yeah, I guess I'll just add to that. So our program teaches STEAM through surfing and skateboarding. And so our students learn a little bit of architecture, you know, a little bit of construction engineering. They also go talk to their local cities about getting a skate park in their city and how they do that. So it's really fun and engaging for them. And they also get to have people from CEMEX visit and work with them. They get to meet with local contractors and skate park builders. And then at the end of the year, we actually have some of our local skaters judge the skate parks. So they get feedback from skateboarders and architects and people in the industry, but they really do love it. So yeah, we make tech decks. You can actually make tech decks out of paper too, not just wood. So so we make paper tech decks, we make wood tech decks. They 3D print molds, but there's so much you can teach them through building a skate park.
For those of you that don't know a tech deck, it's a mini skateboard, if you didn't know that.
Yeah. And so they even learn about the materials of how a skateboard's made and how it's designed as well. So, you know, we've been blessed to work with Skate4Concrete, and there's a program called Create a Skate in California as well. And then the Tony Hawk Skate Park Project has a whole civic advocacy program. So yeah, there's so much you can incorporate and teach them through building a skate park.
Yes, and you need to franchise your surf skate science after school program for all states because it's so amazing.
So we actually are working on our skate architecture curriculum. So I'll talk to you more about that, but we're doing that. We're gonna send that all over, hopefully through like box kits that you can do it anywhere. But yeah, they learn physics, they learn pretty much everything through skateboarding, which is a lot of fun. So.
All right. Thank you everyone for being here. If you have any questions, please reach out to myself or Julie. And I appreciate you attending, and I look forward to implementing this and seeing where we are in a year. All right.
Thanks, Crystal. Thanks,
Have a great
everyone.
day.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Crystal.
Thank you.
Julia.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Crystal. Thanks for all the hard work. You're awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Crystal, for everything.
Yeah, I like your picture with the, yeah.